Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm pretty excited for this video because we're going to be talking about all the new indie makeup releases from the past week and what I think about them, whether I'm going to purchase them or not. I did buy one thing that I can think of, and there's a few things tempting me, so I'm excited to discuss. So just to get some things out of the way really quickly, if you're curious what's happening on my face, I'm wearing the Natasha Sunrise palette on my eyes, and then my lipstick is the Kylie Jenner Pumpkin Lip Kit, which is one of my favorite fall lippies. I'm so in the fall lippy mood. And also next week, I'm not sure if I'm going to have an indie makeup releases up. If I do, it'll be on Monday because next weekend I'm going to New York City for Gen Beauty. So I'm going to be anxious this entire week. So there won't be any makeup releases on Sunday, but I'm sure it's going to be an amazing weekend. I'm super excited about it, so I hope y'all don't mind. This video series is inspired by Angelica Nikis and Samantha March, so I'll have both their channels linked down below, as well as the community will I buy it playlist and all the Instagram accounts that I use to make this video happen every single week. So now let's go ahead and jump right on in. The first new release is from Blush Tribe, and this is their new Hooriya? I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Hooriya. Gosh. I'm a mess, but the color scheme is basically an all neutral palette, and I don't necessarily hate it. It does have like a nice pop of mustardy yellow, which I'm always pulled towards. And then there's an interesting pop of like a mauvey pink, which seems, I mean, it kind of goes with this palette, and I feel like it will give you more variety. So it's not something you normally see with this exact color scheme. But overall, I feel like it kind of reminds me of the Malika palette, which they already have. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it's a warm neutral palette, and it does have definitely some similar shades going on here. And for me, it's not really unique to my collection, so it's definitely not something I see myself purchasing. I have no need for it, no yearning to buy it, so that's a pass for me. Okay, so next is new from Odens Eye Cosmetics, and I'm pretty sure that they're a Swedish indie brand, and they revealed that they're gonna have new Alva cream lip stains, and the packaging looks really beautiful. I'm not sure if, because it's a lip stain, if that's like an actual like a tube packaging or if it's gonna be a bullet lipstick. It kind of looks like it could It's probably a tube. So I think it looks really nice on the lips. I think the packaging looks beautiful. I like the finish, that kind of soft, glossy, semi-pigmented color. And there's going to be, I think, 6 more shades. So I am intrigued by these, but it's not something I see myself picking up right away or anytime soon. Like, I really don't need any more lip products, but it did catch my attention. So my camera's not focusing again, and it's been doing this a lot lately, and I feel like it's getting worse and worse, and it's doing like this flickering thing. So I do apologize. Just bear with me. I'm really hoping for Black Friday this year, / my Christmas / birthday / Mother's Day / Valentine's Day present to myself is going to be a new camera. So just bear with me. All right, so next is from Distinction Cosmetics, and I noticed they changed their name on Instagram. I'm not sure if they changed it on their website too, but they used to be Distinction Brow and Lash Cosmetics, maybe, or maybe just Distinction Brow and Lash, but I felt like that was really long, so it is nice to see that they changed it a little bit. Distinction Cosmetics, I feel like that just flows a little bit more, and they're coming out with a bunch of new brow shades. They're launching October 11th. So from what I understand, they wanted to focus more on some natural colors, which I really appreciate. They do have some new shades for redheads. As you can see, the color Bonfire, when swatched on the arm, looks a little bit crazy, but in the brow, it reminds me so much of the MAC Brow Pomade in the shade Redhead, which is actually a pretty good shade. And then there's Firecracker, which looks to be like a really bright artificial red. There's several different like really cool toned options, especially Bombshell stands out to me because it's like a really light gray. And I remember speaking previously about my struggles and how annoying it is to find redhead brow products that are the right shade, and someone mentioned that they have the same problem with having graying hair and wanting to match their brows to their gray hair. It's like there's tons of mature women who have gray hair. And obviously, I don't know why I never thought about it. Like, of course they want their brows to match their hair. So I think there's definitely tons of room in the brow market for gray tones. And I think that's also something that would have to be perfected and done really well to be gray, but just to not look strange, but to really work with the brows. So I'm excited to see that shade there. Angel looks like it could be a good option for anyone who wants to have matching brows. And I mean, I know some people now do the hair like, I don't even know what they call it, but when they do their hair and it's kind of like that silvery gray color and it's like trendy and not because you're aging, then maybe that would be a good option for you as well if you don't want to do super dark brows. So overall, I'm definitely excited about this release, and I don't think I'm going to purchase any right now because I don't need a new brow product. I have a lot of brow products. Despite going on my low buy and not buying anything this entire year for brows, I still have way too much. So I don't think I'll be purchasing one, but I am like cheering them on from the sidelines. All right, next is the new Halloween collection part 2 from Untitled Beauty, and they're going to be launching a ton of single shadows, and there's different lippies. I tried to get a picture of it all together, but it's honestly a lot, at least the way that it was on their website, the way that it was on Instagram and how they announced everything. But from what I understand, there's different horror Halloween scary movies that they have each like a certain amount of colors categorized, and they all go to a different movie. And I think that's really cool if that's something you're super into and you're really passionate about scary movies. I could see why that would be a cool collection. I don't like scary movies at all. In fact, I'm like one of those people who's like petitioning for like scary movie advertisements to be an option, because sometimes I'm watching movies at 2 a.m. and then a scary movie comes on and I just like have nightmares. So that's not me. That's not my life. I don't like scary movies at all. So for me, the theme and like the categories mean absolutely nothing. I'm like, cool, like there's some killer, like that's great, but that's no thanks. So just looking at the colors, I do overall like the color scheme. It kind of gives me a little bit of like a subculture-esque color where there's like some really rusty warm tones and then like the grungy blues and greens. So I'm curious to see a picture of all the single shadows together, like laid out. Although they did do one that's like silver and it looks like it has like red through it and it kind of looks like blood marks. I think that's kind of cool if you're into that. So I don't think I'm going to be purchasing those for now. Okay, next is a little sneak peek from Give Me Glow Cosmetics, and they're going to be coming out with full coverage setting powders. So this is just one shade that they sneak peek, but they said that they're going to have several shades, and I mean, I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see them expand because they've done lip products and highlighters and eyeshadows, and now they're going to be coming out with eyeliners and setting powders. So that's really cool. I'm happy for them. Again, I don't feel like I need a new setting powder, so I don't think it's something I see myself purchasing. I also prefer for my powders to be very translucent, and I prefer to have coverage from my liquid or cream products. So I don't think I'm going to buy it, but I am excited for them. I was excited when I saw the post. All right, next is a new highlighter from M Cosmetics. This might be available now, but I have to double check. It's a really cool duochrome from like a pinky background to a super like extremely bright green. I can't even imagine how beautiful it is in person if they were able to capture it this well on video. So of course this caught my attention. I love highlighters, I love duochromes, I love shifts, but I know that I have a lot of pink to green duochrome highlighters, and I feel like if I did a little shop my stash real quick and swatched a few different highlighters I already have, I would be content. So I'm not going to purchase this, but it's beautiful. So beautiful. All right, next. I want to scream. I'm not going to, but I want to because I'm so beyond excited. Devinah Cosmetics announced that they're coming out with a new Sugar Drops collection. And it's going to be kind of the same formula as the Galaxy Dust and the Willy Wonka Exploders, which, you know, if you have been on my channel for more than a minute, because I literally just did a video and I talked about them last week, but I absolutely love that formula so much. I'm like ride or die, like so in love with it. and the fact that they're sneak peeking another like collection in that formula, and it's lighter iridescent duochromes, like inner quarter magic. I'm so excited. Like, I have butterflies excited. So there's this first shade here, which looks to be like a blue to purple shift, and it's so sparkly and just delicious. And then there's another one that they revealed, I think it was yesterday, and it looks to have kind of almost like an orangey, pinky to purple shift. So basically, I am definitely 100% buying this bundle. Yes, I'm all about it. I love Devinah's shadows. I love this formula, and I love these type of shades. I do receive PR from Devinah sometimes, so if I end up getting it in PR, I'll be super grateful. But if not, like, these are gonna be mine. Like, one way or another, these are coming into my life. I feel very passionate about them. So I'm super, super excited, and definitely buying those. So those are going to be launching sometime in November, but I'll make sure as the weeks go on and as they keep doing sneak peeks to show y'all the ones that they're coming out with. So next is 2 new bundles from Makeup Geek Cosmetics. And I don't believe that any of these have new shades, but they are actually really cute. So there's the Pumpkin Patch bundle first, which has a mixture of warm tones and some greens, which of course I love. It's kind of that like Melt Gemini, Melt Smoke Sessions, Kaleidos, Sci-Fi Green, like not exactly those colors, but just the Mountain Trail bundle from Sydney Grace, like just that kind of, the warms and the greens. I love it. But the thing with Makeup Geek bundles, until they come out with new shadows, is that looking at this, like, I know I have half the shades, at least. So it would be silly to buy a bundle where you already own half of them. And then there's Fall Frenzy, which is warm tones. It doesn't really speak to me. And again, like, I'm looking at them and I know that I own these shades. Like, I'm pretty sure the orangey one is Chickadee. The one underneath that, the, like, really intense copper, I know I have that. So not gonna buy those because I don't need them. But I did really like the Pumpkin Patch color scheme, and although it's not the most unique thing I've ever seen in my life, I am hoping that it's telling that Makeup Geek will be coming out with good color schemes and amazing things, hopefully sooner rather than later, because they keep teasing their rebranding. But I mean, I guess it's better to wait and it be perfect, but I'm just curious to see what everything will end up being. So next is the new Makeup Geek, the new Max of the Makeup palette. This is the Sweater Weather palette, and we talked about it a little bit last week, but now we have the full reveal, and it's actually about to go live like 30 minutes from now as I'm filming this. So by the time you see it, it will be up on their website, and I believe it's going to retail for $35. So I love the packaging on the inside. I didn't realize that the packaging on the outside would carry to the inside, and I think that's super, super cute. And the color scheme I do like. I like the warm tones with the pop of green, like we just talked about. And I have some thoughts. Okay, so I feel like when you look at this, the pop of green is so obviously those 2 bright greens on the top row. They just pull your eye, and it's like, oh, that's the pop of green. But I feel like when you look at it a little bit more, the mustardy shade next to that I feel like goes really well. It almost looks like it has a little hint of green. The very middle shade looks to be a green gold, so I think that'll also go really well. And then the darkest shade, I don't know if I'm seeing this true to color or just like how it looks to be a deeper cool toned gray green, so I feel like that does kind of go with it. And looking at it, I feel like if you swatched all those, you could have a pretty complete green color story. So although, I mean, I see it, and like the 2 bright greens I feel like just capture your attention, I feel like there are like those green hints throughout the palette that build on that. I saw people saying that this looks like a little miniature of that one Morphe palette that came out that I talked about. And I agree that it does kind of give the same vibes, but I feel like it's completely different because that Morphe palette, you take away the 2 green shades and it looks like everything else that they've done. It looks like so many other Morphe palettes. I think it was a 3503, Whereas this is the first neutral palette that Max Up the Makeup has done. Their other two palettes have had some warm tones, but they've been pretty colorful, pretty adventurous. So I feel like this makes sense in their line. Like, it makes it more complete and whole, but it's also not just a neutral palette. I do see all those different pops of green and the pops of warm, so I like it. I don't personally plan on buying it. I mean, again, like, I have received the other palettes from Max Up the Makeup in PR. So if I got it, I would definitely use it. I like it, but I just don't feel the need to purchase it when I know I have other things I could do similar looks with. Although the packaging is so cute. I'll give them that. The packaging is very fall. So yes, I'm not buying it. It's a pass for me. Okay. But also, if you are wanting to purchase it, I do have an affiliate code with them, which is AMYLOVES. So just throwing that out there. I'll make a small commission, but you save a little bit too. So next is from Shroud Cosmetics. Previously Strobe Cosmetics. Now they're Shroud Cosmetics. No, Shroud. Shroud. Okay, everyone was telling me in my last video that it rhymes with loud and crowd. Shroud. That sounds so weird. I had to Google what it means because I didn't even know. I thought it had something to do with a mushroom, but I think I read it's like, it can be like something like being covered with darkness, or it can be, I think it was like some type of veil that people wear to funerals. I don't know. It felt a little dark. But anyways, they have been teasing because the owner posted these pictures with the swatches and the samples, and then they also posted it on Twitter. I saw like a picture in black and white of I wish you could see these testing out palette number 6, which is confusing because they've only released 3 palettes, so they're testing palette number 6 and they're teasing palette number 6. It doesn't really make sense, but then I was like, what if the palette is literally called like number 6? I don't know. So I can't really speak onto any of my thoughts on the palette, obviously, since it's all black and white, but it does have my attention. I'm intrigued. I like their formula. I'm just waiting for another color scheme that I really want to dig into, so definitely curious. All right, next is some new food-themed palettes. I know some people love these and some people are like, can we please just get over this trend? I'm kind of indifferent. I really liked it when it started and I think it's cute, but I'm not going to buy something just because it looks like food that I like. I'd rather just buy that food. So these are new fruit-themed palettes, and they're from Dedesignature. I'm not sure exactly. Their Instagram account is DEDESSIGNATURE. If you are interested, I'll make sure to leave their website down below. But they're coming out with a strawberry and an orange palette. And the orange palette, I'm not going to lie, it kind of bothers me because the orange is not symmetrical. It looks like it's not symmetrical, and I kind of hate that. But the packaging is funny. Like, it actually looks like a round orange. Like, I see the humor. The color scheme is okay, but I'm not into pressed glitters. And then the strawberry palette I actually do really like. I think it's very pretty. I like the different pinks and purples. And then there's a few warm tones. And then there's a super bright pop of neon green, which I think is actually really fun and could be very interesting with the other colors that are around it. I don't really love the packaging. Like, it looks like a strawberry, and it's like, it's fine. It's like, it's a strawberry. Like, I mean, I guess, like, it's okay, but it's not something that would make me want to buy it. And when I was looking on their Instagram page, I was a little bothered because whenever you, like, their info on their Instagram, it says cruelty-free, vegan, blah, blah, blah. And then when I opened up their website, like, the first thing I saw was mink lashes. I'm like, well, you're not vegan. Like, minks are animals. So I don't really like the false claims, which kind of makes me a little weary of wanting to try them. But I do like the color scheme of the strawberry. All right, so next is a new palette from Luxe Beauty, and this is available now. It is the For the Love of Fall palette, and this is really cute. I definitely like it. There's like, I don't know, it's kind of like almost looks neon, but I just really like the color scheme. However, I feel bad saying this, but I've just, from other palettes that they've had, and the brightness looking so crazy and intense, like, just looking at this picture, even though I do really like the palette, I would personally wait until I see someone swatch it in, like, natural lighting, not built up swatches, like, hear someone's opinion on it. Like, for me, I feel like that's really important. I do like it, and it does kind of remind me of the VR Neon palette from Kaleidos that came out this summer, but for some reason it looks very fall. There's no real deepening shade again, so I don't know. I do like just looking at it. Something about the color scheme, even though there's so many contrasting colors, looks nice together. But it's something I would wait to hear people's opinion on. So next is from Terra Moon Cosmetics, and these are their new Iridescent Chameleon shadows. They're available now for pre-order, and they're going to start shipping 10/26, I believe. So you can buy them individually or you can buy them as a bundle, and I love these. If you look at the picture on their Instagram, they do have a picture of what they look like in the pan, and they all just look white, but then when you move it around, they look like colors. And I just live, die, and breathe for things like that. Like, again, the really light iridescent inner corner colors are just my absolute favorite. So I think these look stunning, and so many of these shades caught my attention. Like Eon looks like it has like this chartreuse color going through it. Solar Flare, Saturn's Rings, Light Year, and Space Baby are my absolute favorites, but the others are beautiful as well. So I've been wanting to make a Terra Moon Cosmetics order, and for the very end of last month, for like one of my purchases last month, I decided to go ahead and buy a few different single shadows, and you know how I do. I end up buying a few single shadows from each brand and putting into a palette and counting that as one of my palette purchases. So I've been meaning to make a Terra Moon order, and I wanted to grab these. So even though it was like a few days after the month ended, I'm including this as part of that because I make the rules. So I'm really, really excited about it. I also grabbed Hot Spice Cider, the shade that I couldn't stop talking about and I can't stop thinking about. And then I grabbed one of their matte shades that were from their neon collection, the really, really bright neon chartreuse looking one, just because I love colors like that, and I just wanted to try the formula because sometimes it's hard with neon matte shades. Sometimes they're not formulated the best. Sometimes they're tricky to use. So I thought I would just try one and see how it goes. So I'm really, really excited about this order, although I'm a little impatient because I just want to have my hands on them like right away because they're so beautiful. So I did order that, and I'm very, very excited. So next, let's see. Actually, I'm going to go through and do indie first again before I jump into the few mainstream that I have. So Lunar Beauty is coming out with a new palette. Actually, it's available now, and it's the Moonspell palette. And I talked before about like thinking maybe to give Manny MUA / his brand a second chance. And I just had a change of heart, and I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel. It's a lot. I'm a sensitive person, but I have been watching a video here and there of his, and I was curious about the reveal. So as he was saying in his video that when he thought of witches, he thought of purple and green, I was like, yes, purple and green, like I'm all about it. So I went ahead and picked a picture that specifically shows you what the palette looks in natural lighting, because the studio lighting picture was going around and people were saying that it looks so pastel and summery. And obviously, as you can see here, that it's a little bit more dark and grungy. And I do really like this. Like, I really like it. I love the color scheme. I think it's beautiful. I think the shimmers look really nice. I like the matte options. I like the cool tones. I love the row of green, the row of purple, the in-betweens. Like, I'm about it. I think the packaging is really cute. I do like witches. Like in pop culture, although I'm not familiar with all of these. Mostly just Sabrina and Hermione. I'm basic like that. Actually, there was one I wanted to watch when I was a kid. I wasn't allowed. And I've never seen Hocus Pocus, and I want to watch it, but also I feel like, is it too late? Like, did I already miss out? Like, is it an acquired taste? If I watch it now, am I gonna not like it? I don't know. But, ooh, and Halloween Town. I love that movie. I watched Twitches. anyways. I just really like the palette. So I'm kind of indecisive. I thought maybe Lunar Beauty would be my palette, or not my palette, my brand to try this month for October. But it went live on the site and I don't know. I just haven't impulsively bought it. I don't know who I am. So I'm waiting a little bit to see if I still want it. It is limited edition, which is kind of like wah 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 for me. I like things that are permanent. So I don't know. I would love to know your thoughts on this palette. If you would like to see me review it, if you would like to see me do looks with it, let me know, because that sometimes helps me make a decision, because if nobody cares, then it makes me want things a little less. But anyways, I think it's really beautiful. All right, so I'm pretty sure Hip Dot is an indie brand, and they just released a new palette. I can't even see what it's called right now, but it'll be on screen. So it's a mixture of some warm tones, and there's like some pops of purple. It kind of looks like that's pressed glitter, which I'm not about the pressed glitter life, so not really. I don't think I would pick this up. I do think it looks kind of pretty, and I do like the pops of purple with the really warm tones, and I think it makes sense and it works. But I don't feel like a need to buy it. All right, so we have just a few mentions really quickly for mainstream releases I wanted to talk about. So first, ColourPop came out with a new Disney collection. Actually, this week, ColourPop came out with a collaboration with Sophia Nygaard. I don't even have a picture of that saved, but I thought that was really cool. I like her. I think she's very funny. I like her sense of humor. I liked her campaign pictures, so I'm excited for her, but I really don't need any more lipstick. Although, like, I liked the names, and I think her channel's really funny, and it was something different, like doing a lipstick collaboration rather than another palette. So, and then they came out with a new collaboration with Disney, and this is the Midnight Masquerade palette. Honestly, I feel like it looks very, very similar to the other Disney palettes. Sorry, I'm falling asleep because it's just so boring. It looks the exact same, except with pressed glitter. So that's definitely a pass for me. And then the little sets are actually really cute. I'm not sure if these are all supposed to be highlighter. I feel like most of them look pretty light, just looking from this picture. I was kind of intrigued by Belle's, mostly just because I like Belle and that's how they suck you in, but I'm not going to purchase anything. I don't need it. Don't need it. I feel like they came out with something else this week too, but I can't remember what it was. So next is the new palettes from LA Girl Cosmetics. They have the new Fierce and Wild palettes, and I feel like I've heard good things about the quality of these like 16 pan palettes, but the Fierce and Wild, they both say Fierce and Wild. Okay, I'm a little confused. The one that has the purples and the greens actually looks really, really pretty. I think that's a very cool color scheme, and it's not as bright as the Lunar Beauty one. This one has a little bit more of like grungy mauvey purples, but then the mixtures of the greens, and the greens look so metallic. Like, I think that palette actually looks really, really pretty. So I'm intrigued by that, although I don't really plan on buying them just because it's just not something I see using all that much. And then, oh goodness, here we are. I feel like we've talked about a new ABH palette every single indie makeup releases for the past month. So let's just go ahead and continue the trend. This is the new Carli Bybel palette in collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I don't like this. Like, the like constant flow of palettes aside, just looking at the color scheme, it's not me. Like, it's basically almost all cool tone shimmers and then some more mattes, and other than the one purpley looking duochrome, which I have a lot of singles that look like that, I don't like the color scheme. It's not me. It's not something I would wear, so I wouldn't buy it either way. I don't like the packaging. It looks like those little, like the phobia. I don't even want to put it on screen because I don't want to mess anyone's head up or like freak them out. But it looks like the phobia of like the holes, and like when you see like all the spider's eyes, that's what this packaging reminds me of. So I kind of hate it. And honestly, I feel like, I don't know if Carli knew the amount of palettes that were coming out around her palette time. Like maybe she was like, I don't care, like it's an ABH collab, like I'll take it. I don't know anything about like her business with ABH and how the contract worked. But just looking at this, I feel disappointed and sad for her because like I'm sure like, oh, thinking that you're coming out with the palette with ABH is like a dream collaboration. And then it's like, nobody cares and everyone's over it because all they've done is come out with palettes. Like everyone I saw talking about this palette was like, no, I'm not here for it. So even though like the color scheme isn't necessarily bad, like I'm sure it works for some people. I'm sure some people will really like it. I just feel like sad for Carli Bybel. Like I'm sure some of her fans will love it. I'm sure there will be people who buy it, but overall, that's basically the whole feeling. Like I was just like, oh, then like that sucks. Like I couldn't imagine coming out with a collaboration and it just like, because of the way that the brand has decided to release things, like kind of ruining it in a way. Like I don't know, maybe she doesn't care at all. I don't know. So we've got a new palette from Makeup Revolution, and I think this is called like the Good Vibes collection or palette or something. And I do think this is really pretty. It's a mixture of blues and teals and some neutrals. So I like it, but I don't feel like I need it by any means. I don't really love Makeup Revolution's formula. I actually saw Beauty's Bad Habit post some swatches of this on her Instagram story, and it looked kind of mediocre. I mean, it could probably be built up and worked with, and you know, all the things that you do to make a palette work, but for me, I would rather just not. So that's a pass. And then last but not least, y'all, this palette, oh my gosh, I got an email from BH Cosmetics and it was like, Libras, we didn't forget you. And I'm like, I wish you did. Who did this? Who? Sorry, I'm turning into an owl. Who chose these colors for this collection of palettes? Because whenever this started happening and it was like the whole, like every single month, like a new Zodiac palette, I was like, this is going to be awesome. Like this could be so good. This could be amazing. And every single month it's like flop, flop, flop. Like this, I don't understand what this color scheme is. It's incredibly light. Like there's 3 light shimmers plus the shimmer highlighter, and then the mattes are a really, really light mauvey purpley looking color. A really, 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 really light purple, it looks like, maybe like a really light purple. Like that's going to show up if you're my skin tone and my skin tone only, unless you're using like a super white base and packing it on for 10 hours. And then there is a like chartreuse color, which I don't hate, and then a mustardy green, and then there's a blue shimmer. So I just feel like there would be basically no variety with this. And like I don't understand what they were going for. I just feel a lot of rage and I don't know how to describe it. In all seriousness, it's fine. Like, yay, it's another palette that I don't want, that I'm not going to put my money into, but just looking at this, I'm like, what were they thinking? Like, I don't see the vision. I don't. Alright guys, so that is everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know what releases you are eyeing and thinking of buying, and what you are like, heck no, I'm never buying that. I would love to hear your opinions, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.